Hi, my amazing planner friends. It's Jess from My Magical Planner, and today I have a really fun subscription box to open with you guys. I can't wait to get into this. I've already seen some people unboxing it, so I'm super excited about it. So this is the Archer and Olive quarterly subscription box. So that means that they come out with one in June, September, December, and March. I am a little late getting into this, so I did subscribe like a week ago and we're almost to July. So these boxes had already been out and they still have some in the store, so I ordered one. I am signed up now to do their quarterly subscriptions. You can cancel right away, but I think I want to keep getting them. At least I want to get two at least. That's where I'm at that. But let's talk about the box in general. So price-wise, we're talking $75. That does not include shipping, which was $10, as well as taxes from your particular state. My state, being Michigan, is about 6%, I think it is. So all said and done, my box cost me $93.25. So just know that going in, it is not a cheap box. I think maybe let's just open it up and look at it. So it does come in a box outside of this so that this box does not get damaged. It is also, I don't know if you guys can tell, but it is wrapped in plastic. So we're going to go ahead and slip that. And it is a large box. I do like the theme for this box, which is desk aesthetics. There are not too many things a new notebook and a pad of paper cannot solve, which I love that statement. I'm kind of hoping that we get something with that statement. Oh, I'm kind of hoping that maybe we could get something with that statement on in here, but I don't think we do. All right, let's go. Before we actually open the box, let's talk about what we are going to get in the box. So this is what Archer and Olive on their website tells you you're going to get. It says that they're going to curate an experience for you, that everything's going to be coordinated and all focused on one specific thing, which I kind of really like that. I love things that coordinate and go together, but also can go with everything else. Does that make sense? I hope so. Anyhow, so they say they're going to curate an experience for you, which I like that wording. They also say that you're going to get a combination of items that are things that you'll know about from the Archer and Olive brand. I'm guessing notebooks, but you're also going to get some exclusive new items that they're going to be trying out and seeing, do these work for their brand? Do people like these? And that kind of thing, which is very typical of a subscription box. They do guarantee 2 notebooks as well as accessories that are focused on journaling and creativity, which I really like. They also say that they're going to give you a coupon code for an upcoming purchase, so I'll try not to share that with you. All right, let's go ahead and open it now that we've talked about all the different things. I did start out the video with it wrapped in plastic, and then I took the plastic off. So let's see what we have. Okay, so this is your first look at the box, and I do really appreciate the way that they've kind of laid everything out and the way it all looks together. Now I'm going to take everything out of the box and set it here just so we can move the box out of the way. All right, I've unloaded everything from the box, and let's go ahead and take some closer looks here. I'm going to start with all of the accessories over here, which I think I've organized out. I also have, this is our little spoiler sheet, and I'm going to be referencing this to see if there's anything that I need to know about the different items that I maybe don't realize at first sight. So let's start with the washi tapes that they give us. They say decorative tapes, not washi. It's a set of 4 adhesive paper tapes is what they say. Nice packaging as always. I do wonder if these are going to come to the store. And I think it might depend on people's responses to them. But I do have a piece of paper here and my X-Acto knife so I can swatch these out for you guys. But I will say, just feeling them, they do feel a little bit more plasticky than my other washi tapes. Maybe more towards some of the ones that I've gotten that have been Happy Planner, which are more tape and less like papery. So let's see how they swatch. I do like the idea of this one with the measuring tape on it. I think that's kind of fun, and I think it can go for a lot of things. So I like the coloring. It's a very muted kind of off-white with gold foiling, and I think that's like either a brown or maybe like this color for these slots. Okay, now here's where I think I'm gonna have trouble. I don't think it's gonna rip. Oh, it does. Okay, that's all right, as long as it rips. I usually use my X-Acto knife for these type of things, but it's nice to know either way. So there is our first washi tape. If the camera will focus on it. Let's see here. Come on, camera. You know you want to. There we go. So just a really fun washi. I have seen that people have measured it and that it is an accurate measuring tape, which I think is also kind of fun. I could see people using it for different craft projects because of that and not just as a decorative item, which I also kind of like. Okay, so this is a Simply Gilded washi tape, and they seem like they're about the same size. The ring is bigger on the Simply Gilded one, and I think that goes for the inside ring. So I don't know that you're getting more on here. Does it say how long it goes? It does not, but I'm pretty sure that's a 20 millimeter washi. So it's a good size. So that means this one being a little bit bigger, maybe a 25, since it doesn't seem to say on the paper here. I do like this design. This doesn't seem like a washi, like some washis you can write on. I don't think this is the type that you can write on though. I think it's more for decoration. I am curious about the check boxes. So I do have some other checkbox type paper. Actually, let's put it downwards and see. So this, it does have a nice rainbow aspect to it, which is kind of nice. Does not really line up with that grid, at least. We'll check it with some other grids here in a minute. And then we have the time stamped washi, which I don't know that I will use, at least as a timestamp thing, but I could see how if you're planning out your days, how that would be very functional. I may end up like trimming off this portion and making it a smaller washi, and I think that might appeal to me. So here's your close-ups. So I really like this pattern with the leaves, and you kind of have these foiled other leaves or berries in here, and you have some stationary items like the scissors, the paper clip, the measuring tape there, and the pencil. And I think those just repeat, and it has a very, I think of this pattern as being very Archer and Olive. I think I've seen it on a few other things. As for the checklist, now I didn't match it up exactly when I was putting it down. Let's see how easy they are to pull up, actually. Oh, not bad. Pretty typical. But let's see if I tried to match it up with this particular grid, how it would go. It's challenging always to line up a grid, you know. It does not line up perfectly here. So I do have it like kind of in between that square, and it does look like the squares are about the same size as this grid. This is from, I think it's Aura Estelle. Oh, yeah. There, if you're wondering about the grid size. And you can see almost immediately how it's offset because it goes a little above the next line there. So probably not something if you were like, you need it to perfectly align with that and aren't making your own lines. I don't know how that would work. Same for the time, even though this isn't perfectly straight. I did have some curiosity questions about how this would work in my Hobonichi Cousin. So let's just pull that over, and I want to see on a blank page, like, what does that look like? So here is my Hobonichi Cousin. I just went to a blank page that I had, and I think first I'm going to try and put the time in, the timeline. So we're going to try and put time at the top here, and maybe I trim it because I'm not going to be able to hold it straight, I think. So I'm going to do to 13 there, and we're going to trim at the top for time. Oh, that's crooked. Sorry, guys. Okay. So here is my curiosity, is could I put it in here and have this kind of work for me? Maybe. Lining up stuff like this is always a challenge, but if you can get it, it's kind of cool if it works. Oh. Now it is pulling up okay on the Tomo River paper, which is nice. So that's what the timeline would kind of look like. It doesn't exactly match up with the grid, but it does an okay job. So if you really wanted to, like, have an entire log of everything you did in a day. Now this is only going from 0 to 1 o'clock here. So you probably would have to do 2 strips, but that's easily doable in this type of format. And then I wanted to see how the check boxes lined up and how they compared to my Moxie Life ones. So put it right there and see. So it doesn't match up great, but it isn't horrible either. I think you could still use it pretty easily. Let me grab the Moxie Life one. All right, here are my Moxie Life ones. So let's see here. So I think the Moxie Life checklist is a little bit smaller and more spaced out. Okay, so there you have the Archer and Olive checklist next to the Moxie Life. Now the Moxie Life has a more papery feel, so I think you would be able to check those off a little easier. The next thing I wanted to try is, so I have just a Energel pen here, which I can not use there. Oh, there it goes. And it does smear a bit, but I can use it there. Oh, it works a little bit better on this one. I was curious, but they both smear. Let's try a more permanent pen and see how that works. So it works on both. I like it better on the Moxie Life one though. But it's interesting. This isn't bad. And I do like the fact that you can write on it. I would say that the permanent pen is a better option. This is a micro perm from Sakura. I can't pronounce these names very well when they're Japanese type names, but there you go. And it's a 3. You can get those off of Amazon, or most craft stores also carry them. So that is our washi. Next, we have, just going to set these back in here. Next, we have a set of pens. Now, these are new to Archer and Olive. So they're dual tip pens, chiseled and fine liner, water-based ink, non-toxic, aesthetic. I don't think they have a name for them. So let's go ahead and open these up. And again, we'll test them here as well as in my Hobonichi Cousin. So there are 4 colors. We have eucalyptus, new gray, barely pink, green tea, and salted sea. And they do come with a little thing so you can mark what color each of them is, because it isn't printed on the marker itself. I kind of wish they were marked on the marker, but I get it. I'm going to try and keep them in this order so afterwards I can do that. But this is our fine tipped. It's one of those like plasticky fine tips. Oh, come on. You want to focus. There we go. And then the chisel tip, which these are, it's a little hard to put on and off, honestly, is, it's got like a metal part here and a very nice chisel there. They look really well made. Now let's see. So I'm not sure if this is salted sea or eucalyptus. Let's see, how small can I write? 1, 2, 3. You can write smaller with that, but it's kind of a medium thing. But like I said, it's a little hard to get that cap back on that one. But it's a really cute color. I like the overall aesthetic of the pen. It says it's a 0.4 and a 0.4 and a 3 millimeter on here. I like the size. I think it's a great size. I think it's going to work actually better than anything I have currently for doing this type of work in my Hobonichi Cousin. So there's the first color. Then we have this one, which I'm guessing is green tea. So let's kind of swatch it here. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's the green tea. And then this is probably barely pink, which I'm guessing is going to match this one pretty well. Maybe a little bit more peachy than I thought. That's okay. But I want to put a... Oh yeah, it's like almost perfect match to that washi. So what I'll say is this one is a little bit light for, I think, coloring or like writing anything in. It's still there, but I like the highlighter in better. Then this is probably new gray, I would assume, which is very close in coloring to this. I mean, it's obviously, this is a little bit more bluish gray, but I can see where they made the decision to have these specific colors. That is going to be a thing. Getting caps back on. And then I think this must be the eucalyptus. Or no, that looks very gray. Eucalyptus is usually not so. This one's even closer to this gray color. I mean, you know, looking at the back, I think that is eucalyptus. I do like the way that these write. I'm surprised by that because I usually do not like the way these type of markers write, but these are kind of fun. And I could see doing a lot of really fun things with them. I like the colors. So let's see how they work. I'm just going to test one on here and see how it works as far as bleed through goes. So let's do, you know, I'm just going to write my name down here, and then I'm going to underline it. Oh, sorry. And see if we have any bleed through. No bleed through that I can see here. So there's my name. I don't really, I mean, there's some ghosting, but no actual bleed through even on that end. So that's nice. Okay. So those are our markers. We'll set those off to the side. Very nice. Next we have this, which has a sticker set in it. What do they say about the stickers? In the quiet, happy place where form and function meet, enjoy these stickers that have already done the work for you, so you can track and plan in style. Now, I love the aesthetic of the envelope they're in. I think it's really pretty. It's a nice paper envelope here. So we have some really cute clipboards. These are large for like a weekly in my Hobonichi Cousin, but if you're using one of the Archer and Olive trackers, I could see that. So we have, it looks like 4 sheets of stickers. So we have these 2 that have little clipboards. I like the lines on them, and then one that is kind of a background, kind of typical Archer and Olive pattern there. And then the clipboard up here is on the clip part of the clipboard is all foiled in gold foil, but it's a matte gold, it looks like, which is really nice. And you do even have that little punch in the middle for the, you know, the part that hangs on the clipboard, which is really nice. And then you have mood trackers. So you get 4 mood trackers that are worth a month each. That's kind of nice. And I like that you have like the different faces here. I think those are really cool. So I might try this next month and see how I like it. Although these feel like more fall colors to me. So maybe I'll wait until then. And then you have these little paper clip bits of paper down here, which are really cute as well. Those are really popular in the planning community, I feel like, right now. So that's a nod to them paying attention to that. And then here we have some habit trackers. So we get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 14 habit trackers. They're kind of large for habit trackers for me, but I can comparatively with the mood trackers, I feel like they're really large. I would have rather have seen these be maybe a half to 3/4 of the size that they are and get a few more. But I do think the coloring and the aesthetic of them is really nice, and they'll be super easy to use because of the size. You can easily write whatever you want to track as far as your habit in there, and they're easy to check off. And then we get one of these Life in Pixels type sheets, which I've always been curious about. So it has all of the months here, and it has 1 through 30. So the concept being you pick something you want to track, like say, I don't know, the weather or something, and you have a color that is for sunny days, another color that is for like rainy days, another color that's for, you know, thunderstorms or whatever the case may be. And then you color in the boxes or have a pattern or something in each of the boxes, and you can look at it and see the entire year in one glance, and you get 2 of those, which is kind of cool. I might keep those for next year. I think I might really enjoy that. So that is the pages of stickers that we get. Those are really cool. Then we get a B5 planning stencil, which I think is bigger than their normal planning stencils. I'd have to look. I only have one of them that a friend had gifted me from, I think it was in a previous box, to be honest. Just trying to figure out how this opens. Because I feel like it should just push out. And by the way, can we just talk about how cute the aesthetic of this is? I love the kind of notebook background that this is. It's really pretty, and I love the color. I think the color is amazing. Okay, so how do you... Okay, yes. I was like, I feel like you should just push out. There you are. So it is much bigger than the one that I have, and it's also made of a different material. Now, the one I have is from a couple of years ago, so that's not surprising. I'm just going to cut these and take it out really quick. I do like the packaging and the way that they did that, and the fact that they outlined all the different things that you can do. So what do they say in their little preview about this? Let's see. Planning stencil. It has arrived. If you loved the Archer and Olive planning stencil, you'll be so glad to have this addition to your tools for planning bigger pages and spreads. So this is bigger than my A5 wide planners, but it looks like, so everything is made actually specifically for their notebooks, but you have a nice size, like, I don't know what this is over here. It says boxes there. So I don't know if that's the size of your boxes. And then on this side, it says centimeters. So if this is your boxes all on the side, that's kind of cool. And it kind of matches up with the grid on here as well. And then we have like a rectangle here. Well, let me pull this over. So we have a rectangle. We have a different rectangle. This looks like more of a full box that you would see on a lot of different sticker kits. You have the square. You have this rectangle, which is a little different in this one as well. And then with the rounded edges here, and then you have some flags, you have some check boxes and some circles in this. And I find this really interesting that they have numbers on here for the number of squares tall or wide something is. So you know going into it how big each one of these squares is. Now let's see how these squares compare to these squares. These are a lot bigger, I'm pretty sure. Well, that didn't work very well. Let's try it again. There we go. So that's the size of these squares in comparison to the checkboxes they give you. So that's interesting. And you also get an octagon here. I think this would work really well for like titles or things like that, potentially. I could see a lot of uses for this, but for comparison's sakes, this is my old Archer and Olive stencil. It did break right here and here. I've heard that this material is much sturdier and lasts better. I want them to come up with another one of these that is in this material, and I don't know that they have. I do wish that we had some more curves on this one, but I think there might be one in the shop that has that. So there is our stencil. Very cool. Now let's start getting into our paper products. So the first one here is smaller. It's a Memo Pad. So we're going to go ahead and slip the plastic on this one. Again, kind of love the outside of this, and I love this color, this really nice deep green. So you open, it looks like on either the top or the bottom here. Let's see if I can manage to, there we go. So this, what do you say about the Memo Pad? This handy little pad Has classic notebook paper on front, square grid on the back, and the quality you expect from Archer and Olive. Now, I did read somewhere that this is not, like, it's a thinner paper than you get in the notebooks. So I'm going to be interested in looking at that a little bit. I do love the aesthetic of the front with the push pin here, the Archer and Olive. This is a canvas feel, which I kind of like. It reminds me very much of like a notebook I would have in high school, or honestly, like the gumshoe notebook, if you know what I mean, like the murder mystery detective notebook. Which I kind of love. And I use a lot of notebooks for different things. And so having this on my desk to take notes about a video, write down timestamps I want to give people, things like that, really works for me. Now to test it out though. So I think I'm just going to tear off the first page so we can have it here and look at it more closely. So let's put Memo Pad on here and see how that writes. Then I'm going to grab one of my fountain pens so that we can see how it writes with a fountain pen. So Memo Pad. Now that's going to take probably a minute to dry. But let's also try, we'll just grab a mild liner. See how that is. And a Tombow in a darker color. Okay. No bleed through that I can really see. Tiny bit of ghosting, but not much. And I don't really see any feathering as far as the fountain pen ink, which I really like. And nothing really substantial to say about the gel. So I think it's an overall good pad that I can use with my fountain pens, and I'm excited about that, to be able to just have one over there by my computer. And I like the size. I like the fact that we get the lines on the side and that you also get the grid and that you can use both sides. Because I could totally see myself mapping, like putting timestamps on this side. And then if I needed to do some additional notes or a sketch or something on this side about a thumbnail, I totally could. So very cool. And I think that's everything for like the, we'll say, little accessories. So I'm going to move these off to the side so I don't accidentally smush anything and that kind of thing. And let's open up the case. So it says journal case. Love the brown on the outside with the little paper clips. I feel like I'm going to use these boxes actually for storage after, like, once I take the products out, kind of deal. Because they are really nice boxes. And the sizing is nice, and they're kind of dust type boxes, so I feel like the aesthetic of this is more like it's storage too. Does that make me weird? I love a good box. Oh, very nice. Now, I have heard that this is the one thing people are kind of up in the air about as far as fitting with the theme of the box, and I would kind of agree, but I also really like it. It's, okay, what does it say on the here? So, the A5 zipper folio is what they call it, with plenty of space for your A5 notebook and the accessories you want to keep on hand at all times. Zip it up and keep it safe between journaling sessions. Okay. So I like the nice, it has a very hefty zipper there. This, I'm not sure if it's leather or faux leather. I'm guessing faux leather. It also says Archer and Olive here and has a very Archer and Olive flowery patterns, very typical of them. Inside here we have a very soft, like, I don't know how else to explain it. It's like very sweetie. It feels nice to the touch. And this is the same as the outside, probably more for protection. So you have a nice pocket there with an area to put a larger like pen or something here. We have some pen loops that are the stretchy type, like the elastic. We have 2 pockets, I think, there, and no, that is not a pocket. And then we have this little strap, which I believe is supposed to be for washi, but I feel like if you're using these 2 pockets, you can't use that portion. And so I'm kind of on the, like, does this really make sense? End of things. Like, I don't know. I haven't tried it out, but there's a part of me that's like, I don't know. So I have seen people use it. They have to use the smaller washi to make it work. But it's usable. So we have a really cute folio there, which probably goes, I would assume, with this. This is Archer and Olive. It's dot grid, 192 ultra thick, 160 GSM paper or pages. So their pages are really thick, so you can paint on them. You can use mixed media on them. You can do just about anything. I tend to only journal, maybe use some stickers, but if you're into your art, they're amazing. And the couple that I have, I absolutely love. So, love the grid on the outside. And this totally matches the outside of that stencil box, which is really cool. Just use this to pull it out. So we have a nice another box here. So this is probably the same size as my Hobonichi Cousin, I would assume, because I think they're both A5s. Let me pull it over here so we can see. Yep, pretty much the same size. The outside cover is like a leather-ish feel to it. I do like that a lot. I love the way the spine looks with these little accents here. It would be easy to label, I think, if you really wanted to. The back is very simple. You do have this elastic band on the front. It also says composition notebook. Takes me back to my high school days. But it's like an upgrade, if that makes sense, because you have this, it's like one of those really nice composition notebooks, you know, not the cheap ones that your mom would get at the dollar store. Not that I have any experience with that. Then we have this little loop here that's another one of those elastic type band loops. So that's nice. All Archer and Olive notebooks come with this really nice pocket. It's like an accordion pocket in the back, so you can put stickers or whatever you want in there to easily take them with you. The front, this book belongs to, you have some nice foiling, the paper clips on the inside cover. And then we have their typical kind of dot grid, which is it's a really nice grid that isn't overwhelming, so you can use it for just about anything, and it makes doing artistic things really easy. So I'm excited to use this as my journal. And it also comes, I love the color, by the way, and it also comes with 2 little ribbon bookmarks, one of which has the Archer and Olive little logo on it. So very nice there. And this, I believe, should fit perfectly in here. I'm not sure. I don't think you could put it in here and in the little pockety thing and have the elastic band going across. So I'm just going to set it in here for the moment because I'm not sure which one of those I want to use. So I set that off to the side. And our last item is a larger notebook. So this is a dot grid as well. Do you not see the size on you? Oh, B5. So this would go with that stencil that we got which is really nice. So I'm just going to slit the plastic on this one. I like the aesthetic. I like that this brownish color kind of carries through in so many items. And you have the really nice lined here, which even though it says dot grid on the back, I kind of expected it to be lined, honestly. Oh, this is beautiful. If you were a teacher, I think this would be amazing. Somebody needs to get this for the tattoo teacher plans. Just saying. But look, it has all of the measuring things along the spine. That's really nice. It would make it harder to label if you wanted to label it. I love the aesthetic of the paper clip and the scissors and the pencil here. And then again, you have that ruler down the side. You also have the elastic here and the elastic band here. This one feels a little bit more sturdy than the other one. Let me pull them out and set them side by side. Hold on. Like this one has a little give to it. Not much, just a little. I feel like this one won't have as much give. Yeah, it doesn't. So is that considered a soft cover? Yeah, it's, okay, the A5 is said to be a soft composition notebook. It's vegan leather with foiled details. Okay. So I wouldn't have thought that just checking it out that that's a soft cover, because it's not really, but I think soft cover, I think soft cover. Okay. So inside we have the rainbow here. That's really nice. Very teacher aesthetic. Belongs to, and then we have the larger dot grid here. This would be fun for like bigger projects, planning out big things, art projects, that kind of thing. And again, we have the two little ribbons here. I'm surprised these are blue. I would have thought that they would be like dark green. The blue seems off to me. Is it just me? I mean, they go okay. It's just the outside's green and like not like a light green, a dark green. I don't know. Anyhow, and then you have the big pocket here at the back as well. All right, I'm going to take a minute now and kind of do some price analysis so I can come back and tell you, like give you a price breakdown of the cost of the items and what I think of that. So be back in a sec. All right, guys, I've gone to the Archer and Olive store and I've found similar items and put prices on everything to give an estimated value. Now, I will say that some of these values that I came up with, I feel are a little high. Some of the Archer and Olives, like they have really nice things, but sometimes their things are maybe more than I'm willing to spend on them. So I am going to mention that when I'm going through and tell you the prices of everything. Once I've told you the prices of everything, I'll tell you what the total would be if you were to buy everything from Archer and Olive at this point and what your savings would be by getting the box. So an estimated value and all of that. Okay, let's start with this little notebook. Love the notebook. Think it's wonderful. It is small. The paper is really nice. It's not as thick as the paper that you get in here. Now they do have a notebook on the website right now, but it does have multicolors, so I think the paper is different. That being said, it goes for $15. I think that's a little high for a little notebook. Considering how fast I can go through these, I don't think that I would buy that at $15 on its own, just because of how fast I can go through them. However, it is hard to find little notebooks that are good with my fountain pens and are smooth enough paper and everything and don't bleed with my fountain pens. So I'm on the fence on it, but it's $15 is what I estimated the value at. Next, we have the stencil. So this is a bigger stencil than the one that they currently have in the shop. I think the one that's there is an A5 stencil. So there is, I'm not sure if it would cost a little bit more being slightly bigger. So my price is based off of that stencil, which is $19. So that's what I'm estimating this at. And at $19 for a really nice stencil, this is very well thought out. It has, you know, the box numbers here. It has measurements. It has the grid for inside here, so you just can, you know, measure down and say, oh, that's that many boxes, which I think is really nice. You have the midpoint here and a lot of other little details that would make journaling easier, and it's well made. I like the material, so I think this one I would pay $19 for because it's something I would use over and over again. Next, let's talk pens. So of course they don't have these in the store. I'm guessing that they're going to bring these to the store, possibly in different colors. So I like these. I like the tips. I think they're really well made. I estimated them going off of the price that they have their acrylographs, knowing that these are not those. So my pricing could be off on this product, but my estimation was that they are about $3.50 per pen. That's the price I got when I saw like a 2-pack and kind of looked at that, and also the amount that you pay per pen for the bigger packs, which I'm hoping is about right. So I'm estimating this at a value of about $14. I could be wrong. It could be 15. But that's my guess, is about $14 is what you would pay for these. And I think that's an okay price, honestly. Even if it was a little higher, I think that would be acceptable because they are really nice. And I know what I pay for my Tombos. I know what a pack of my zebra markers costs. And I would put these on par with my Tombos. They're a little nicer than my mild liners, I would say. And I like the size of the tip a little bit better. The tip is smaller than what I have on either of those other pens, like the chisel tip. And I like that aspect a lot. So I would buy more of these. Next, we have the washi. So they do have 4 packs of washi on the website. They go for about $15. I think that is an okay price for about a 4-pack of washi. It ends up being about $3.75 per roll. And considering what I've paid for some of my Simply Gilded washi, that's cheaper by a little bit. So I would say that the washi is a good buy. I like the designs. Would I buy it on its own? I'm not sure, to be honest. So it's going to depend on how useful I find this washi and if I end up using the boxes. I think these two are kind of universal, and I really like having a tape that is actually, you know, like a standard measurement. So if I'm doing a project and need to know something like that, I have a tape that I can put down and I can remove. And I think that's going to be really helpful. So I'm hoping they'll come out with more of this tape specifically, and maybe even more checklist type tapes. Next, we have the stickers. Okay, this is the item that when I looked at it for pricing, I was like, really? So they have 2 packs of stickers. So you get 2 sheets, and they are $11. And these feel comparable to my Erin Condren stickers that I've had in the past. Maybe a little thicker. I'm not sure. I haven't actually used them, so I'm reserving judgment on them. But their 2-pack of stickers is $11. So going by that, this is $22 worth of stickers. So that is high. That is really high. So if you go to Erin Condren and get a 2-pack of stickers, that's $5. If I go to a boutique shop like Sadie Stickers and get, gosh, she doesn't have 2 packs of stickers, but if I get a whole planner kit, it's like $25. And that has like 5 or 6 pages, but they're all coordinating and you can use it for multiple weeks if you want to. So I don't know about that one, but I did mark it at 22 going off of the price from their website. Just know that I wouldn't buy that at this price. I could get something similar off of Etsy or someplace else. Yes, the paper would be different, but I don't know that I would pay that difference. So this is an item that I think they need to think about this a little bit better. Okay, next we have the notebooks. So the bigger notebook I have estimated at $39. I'm not 100% positive on that, but that seemed to be the standard price for this size notebook. I don't know if the cover would add any cost to it, but I'm going off of that. So estimated at $39. And then the smaller notebook, I estimated at $35. Again, I'm not 100% positive. A lot of their notebooks are so short run and everything. It's a little bit hard to make sure you're getting the right type of cover and everything. So those are estimates. So those are estimates for me, but I think they're a good estimate. So 39 for the big one, 35 for the smaller one. Yes, that's a lot for a notebook, but they're really nice notebooks, and you're going to pay for a good quality notebook, be it from Archer and Olive, Notebook Therapy. There are a couple other brands out there that have these boutique notebooks, and honestly, for a notebook that's going to handle everything from paint to pencil and anything in between and not bleed through, I mean, it's kind of worth it to me. I'm hoping it works really well with my fountain pen. We'll see. The one that I currently have seems to do just fine with my fountain pen. I've heard people having issues with fountain pens and feathering, so we'll see. That's something I'll get back to you guys on, because I don't want to write in this until I actually start using it. Otherwise, I kind of get funny about it. Like if I mess up a journal, I'm almost like I need a new one. Is it just me? It's probably just me. Anyhow, this was harder to estimate the price on because I don't have anything like this in the store. I don't know if they're going to bring anything like this to the store. However, they do have a folio that has this pattern on it, but is not zippered on the site. And so I used that as my price gauge, knowing this might actually cost more. And if the stickers cost less, maybe it evens out. So this I have marked at $35, which, like I said, I am not sure. It could be more, and I wouldn't be surprised if it was more, but I'm giving it a minimum value of that. And honestly, if I like this, I'm going to have to test it out and use it for a while, but I like the aspect of having the zipper closure. Whether or not that's going to, like if I decide to kind of add things to this journal, like how much space am I going to have as a, sorry. If I decide to add things to this journal, like how much space am I going to have it in here? And how is that going to work? I don't know. So it's something that I would like to use. And I think it's a cool concept because I am most likely, while I do my planning here at my desk, my journaling may take place other places. So having something that I can carry around everything. And I'm most likely going to carry around these markers because I really like them to kind of decorate the edges or something of my pages. So we'll see. But that was my estimated value. So that gives me a total estimated value of $194, which is crazy. because you're paying $75, not including shipping and everything. If I take that $194 and I subtract the total amount that I paid for this box, which included shipping and taxes, at $93.25, I end up with a cost savings of $100.75, which is crazy to me. But I honestly think if you were to go into Archer and Olive, that would be what you would pay. So do I think this box is a good value? Actually, yeah, I do. I think I like all the items in it overall. Are there some things that I would change? Maybe, but not much, honestly. And that's why I got this box. I had previewed it. I knew I wanted to get a new journal. And if I was going to get one journal at almost $40, doubling it and getting all of the extra stuff felt like the right thing for me to do. So that's kind of why I ended up getting the box. And I'm really happy I did, because I think this is going to be a fun experiment. I'm going to be journaling with my daughter. I'm not sure what I'm going to use this bigger journal yet for, but I'm sure I can come up with something. Honestly, I'm almost out of, hold on, I'll show you what I use my other really big Archer and Olive for. So I have this older Archer and Olive. A friend gifted this to me. It might have been in a subscription box previously. And this is where I swatch all of my washi tapes. So I have them categorized by color because, you know, with some extra pages in between for growth. But this is where I swatch all of my washi tapes so that I can look through and say, okay, what washi tape is going to go with what I'm doing right now. And then in the very back, I've swatched all of my mild liners, all of my Tombos. These were different mild liners. Oh, these were the mild liner brush markers, the zebra glitter markers, Erin Condren markers, the mild liners. I have some Alt New brush pens, the Sarasa clips that I have. Just like everything that I kind of had, I started swatching back here, and it's been really nice. I should probably check out my fountain pens on this paper. I've used it in my other journal, and I like it there. So if you guys want an entire flip through of this, let me know, and I can do a video just on a flip through of all of my washi, just so you can see what I have. Sometimes that's fun. But anyhow, that's all I have for today. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I know this was a really long video for what it was, but I want it to be very detailed with you guys. So anyhow, that's all I have for today. I hope you enjoyed it, and until next time, I'll see you real soon.